But yeah, leaving the active Army, leaving Fort Polk, Louisiana, drive off base. No more than 10, 30 seconds later, I'm just crying on my drive home back to California from Louisiana, dude. I never thought it would have an effect like me, but like this sense of loneliness was instant. And I do believe, like, you know, I've had a very like privileged military career, a lot of good, like solid positions. And like you said, leadership, man, being able to lead others. But and people take that the wrong way. Oh, you just think leading people to do certain things is cool. It's like, no, the purpose of being a leader and being a selected leader, right? Because you have to be selected to be a leader, right? Mm-hmm. Is you are simply there to help develop people to their highest potential. Your goal as a leader, for all you pieces of shit NCOs in the military across the board and fuckhead officers, all of you are worried about soldiers passing you up and being better than you.
It's what you want.
That's the point, dude. That's the whole purpose of why you were selected, because you were great. And we hope and pray you can pass that greatness on to others who don't believe in themselves. And like, you know, what we talked about hiring and stuff like that. I hire based off of potential. Yeah. Not your prior, like, you know, work experience is great, but like, I don't always hire people with the most work experience. I hire people with the most potential to grow, learn, and develop and execute. That's what I love to see.
I want everyone to pass me, because then I've done a good job, and
yes.
then I can be like, oh, look, I put my eggs in that basket for this reason. Look where they're going to go. They make me look like a piece of shit. That's great. Mm-hmm. I'm super happy because I'm like, dope.
And in the world of business, those are the, like, to put an example, oh, well, I think that's stupid. Well, guess what? When you hire a bunch of employees and you open up 10 different businesses, and then now all of them can effectively run it because you developed them to be better leaders than yourself to run those companies individually, what the do I have to do anymore? Because those are still my companies. I'm getting paid all the money. Like, what are you talking about?
Rising tides raises all boats.
Yeah.
That statement's perfect. It's like, what? Oh, look. Oh, everyone's developed and grown. Yeah. Oh, we're all up to this level now.
Yeah. And who's to say they can't grow in a branch of understanding and doing something that you don't understand? And you can learn from the people you teach. It's just that sense of ego, pride. And like, I get it. It's going to happen every time. But like, I hope and pray to God that all of you out there can like recognize it and kill it. Learn. I don't care if you're like, you know, Samuel L. Jackson, you're 40 years old, 50 years old. You can start, you can learn, and then you can win, guys. But that's how you start the process. You don't just, I won. Maybe that happens for a few people if you win the lottery, but that is such a rare case scenario. That is so cherry picked.
So rare. And you don't learn anything. If you want to develop yourself, it is through the hardships is what develops you or makes you better. It's steel sharpens steel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I drive off post, I'm crying, and I cried because like community is like my whole thing, right? Like I bring soldiers into my teams and I'm like, hey, like I'm going to with you. I'm going to punch you in the head sometimes, but I love you and I'm here for you. And when I left that base, I felt like I lied to them and I was abandoning everybody because those were my only friends.
Yep.
Because like when you're in the military and you're at least on active duty, and this is nothing against Guard or Reservist component, this is my personal experience, you're not around your original friends. You quite literally watch when you're a young guy, at least in the military, you watch all of your friends you went to high school with blossom and grow and develop and start families and live a life, and you're just stuck in a country somewhere, not knowing what the is going on, no rights, no nothing, and it sucks balls. But I had nothing but these group of dudes, and all we gave a about was each other, and like that was it. And when I left, that crushed me because I felt like I was lying about everything I preached, because I did try to lead from the front and let them know like it's just us guys. Like when you get in trouble by Sergeant Major, I'm gonna tell you to run away, and I'm going to eat that maximum ass chewing for you. I'm still going to come and you up later, but like, I'm going to eat that because nobody you up but me.
Yep.
Nobody but me, you know? But yeah, that was hard. And then that led to like a handful of things. I ended up getting like, you know, my dream job when I got out of the active Army because my goal was to, you know, after doing so like some cool shooter stuff and like, you know, 11B, you know, got to do it, and then got to, you know, I like to think I was a high speed, low drag guy from my time being in a regular garrison guy. I'm like prefacing it like this because I'm sure, what is thinking special forces? Just I know I'm telling you guys this. I was a regular guy, and then got to be part and lead my sniper and reconnaissance section for our unit, which was like, I thought it was a great honor. Had a great time.
Yeah,
it's not regular garrison shit. We only showed up Monday through Wednesday, did whatever the fuck we wanted. Got to go shoot sniper rifles and AT4s and go to the range and train whenever we want. Got to go to whatever schools we wanted. And then I was like, okay, all that skill stuff developed, and I got hired as an executive protection agent before I even left the active Army, which was like my dream job. If you guys have ever seen The Hitman's Bodyguard with Ryan Reynolds, which is so funny because he also drove an F-Type. And when I first started making my first bag of money, before I started doing social media, I bought that F-Type. I remember you hyping me up. You're like, this guy's got an F-Type. He's a car guy. And I was like, no.
I like this car.
Yeah, but that was my dream job. I still had all of that guilt though from leaving the dudes I gave a fuck about. My dream job doing executive protection was awesome because like a lot of the people hired there are all like Navy SEALs, Special Forces guys, SAS dudes. And I got lucky because I'm like 22, 23 years old at this point in time. And they're like all way older. So I felt like I got my foot in the door and I should be very happy. But I wasn't. And I was super down in the dumps. I was having a terrible time. And the money, I just realized very quickly, I was like, I don't give a fuck about this. And even though I was making money, when you realize you're trying to live on your own, I tried to save my money. So I went straight back to living into my mom and dad's house. You know, what people say, I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to do my own thing and deal with like these mental things that I'm dealing with.
Yep.
And then, yeah, I go into the reservist component. I'm still struggling with that stuff. It's not the same type of people either there, by the way. So I'm in the reservist component and I'm doing EP. I'm trying to cover getting out really quick on both senses. I don't have my original dudes. The aggression was one thing. And like, guys, aggression isn't good. Violence isn't good. But if that's your character and that's what you thrive off of, do whatever you need to get there. But understand other people don't receive that. It's not received very good at all. First time walking into the 303rd when I was a counterintelligence agent, I see this, you know, officer standing out front and then this private's talking to him. But they're both like, you know, Army reservists. And I do what I'm supposed to do because I'm an E5, so I'm a sergeant at this point in time. I just come flying across the parking lot. Haven't met a person yet. I'm like, what the are you doing? I was like, hey, you. Hey, you. Stand at the position of attention. Screaming across the parking lot. And this private's like, he looks back at me and he's like, gives me a face. And I'm like, he's dead. And I just come flying across, which was a new, different type of ego for me.
Yep.
Right? Because I realized like it's not like that everywhere. That was specifically there at my unit with my people, of people who could like, you know, kind of swallow that, learn and develop. Kind of like, you know, you and all the guys, everyone could swallow it and be like, hey, we're good. It's all love. I don't know any of these people. This LT comes across as like, whoa. He's like, hey, man, it's all good. And then I lock up, you know, because I'm trying to set I'm trying to set example for dick over here who's not listening. I was like, good morning, sir. Salute him. And I was like, just trying to show, you know, I apologize for that. And I'm going to set that straight. I'm going to correct it, sir. He's like, no, it's all good. We don't do that here. We're just having a conversation and whatnot. And I was like, you know, then I swallow that. I'm like, roger that, sir. Go back to my car, get my shit, get my paperwork, go in there. And I just realized not a knock on the Army Reserves, the dysfunctionality of the Army Reserves, which was insanity to me. The lack of discipline and everything was, I still don't understand it. And one thing I could say if people aren't aware of what I'm saying is like, for example, you have your ERB, used to have your ERB, enlisted record brief. At this point in time, the Army was going from transitions from ERBs to SRBs for all soldiers. So soldier record brief. And I have all my shit. I have some of my paperwork and I have my official DD-214 from active duty. I have all this stuff and I'm handing it to their S shops because that's what they're job is to do the paperwork. It's the only thing you do. Not the only thing you do. I get you guys do other things, okay? And they're like, oh, well, we don't have your certificates. I need all of these like things on your DD-214 in your ERB so I can transition it into our unit on your SRB. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, okay, so like we need all of these, like, you know, we need like your AMs, like your RCOMs and like blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I'd have to go find those because I like just came home and like I'm like resituating my life and like blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, well, no, that's not the case here. So your SRB is going to probably be about half of this. So they took away, like, they're like, oh, you just done this and you've just done that. And I look like I have a boot resume, but I'm supposed to be, and like, that was like a little bit of like an ego thing, but the structure of it. And I was like, this is very lazy. This is very lazy. And I just started struggling because I didn't have like my people anymore, like anywhere. So yeah, that's what I was dealing with just off of active duty. And I thought I could still find it in the reservist component. Luckily, the CI thing, guys, is really cool. Intel community is awesome because you technically don't really answer to the Army anymore when you start like getting into some intelligence fields and stuff like that. And I got very lucky with that situation because then I was with some squared away dudes, liaisoning with some cool task forces, having international and domestic powers and blah, blah, blah. Then I kind of get into like some social media stuff. That shit happens at the VA. Start to feel a little bit better. Have my purpose again. I'm going. Life's good. Meet you guys. Everything's solid. Life's growing. And then, you know, getting off of the reservist component, I hit another wall. Like I said, thank God I'm out here. I like stopped giving a about content for a little while. I'm sure you guys notice it in my content for like, you know, the past like year and a half. Because I dealt with like my own sense of like mental struggles again. And guys, there's nothing wrong with it because I'm very self-aware. Like that's growth, guys. It's like a chart. Like you're going to go here, you're going to plateau, you're going to come down. Every single time I am a fool to think this and I just go, this is it. The best parts of my life are behind me. And I'm just like falling off at this point. Like it's all just... And doing like, you know, a few cool guy counterintelligence things, right? And then I start getting involved in MILDEC, which is military deception stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we're getting into like TSSCI type shit and like everything. And I'm like, oh, like this is like, you know, a new dream of mine. Like I would love to do these things. My civilian job started to interfere with my reservist component job. And once again, like that's not a great support group for me either. Like all I have now is kind of like my content community. Like that's it. And what I was kind of dealing with at that time was the fact that I got kicked out because we were doing some surveillance drills. And like, if you guys know counterintelligence guys, you're not CIA spies, okay? That is not your job. Anybody who says that is lying to you. Will you maybe get to liaison with the agency and do some cool shit? For sure. You're not a spy. I mean, there are some dudes at some levels who are that, but you're more so spy hunters. Your job is, you know, finding control and access, exploiting and finding foreign intelligence entities and international terrorist organizations while conducting national security investigations. Okay. Like that's your sole job. Those are big deals in the sense of national security. And your job, like I said, you don't exactly answer to the Army anymore because you're this entity that is watching the Army for inside threats. And if you guys are aware of what like a TARP brief is, you know, your shitty TARP brief that you have to sit and watch for like 2 hours on a slideshow deck and it's boring, you want to kill yourself. And you're watching people, but then you're also doing all these other things. Well, I was conducting surveillance training with like a few other dudes. We're in civilian clothes, doing the cool gray man stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I have a following at this point. At this point in time, I had like quite the following. We're talking millions at this point.
It's that hard one. It's a very difficult position to be in where you're in both worlds because like.
Yeah. I was the ultimate counterintelligence red flag. Why? At this point in time, I am working my executive protection, my principal, my client at the time, I'm working for the Russians. So I'm asking, no, and the guy is known as Putin's wallet, okay? Disgustingly rich, you know, all that crazy shit. Living vicariously through the life of a billionaire gives you a whole new sense of ego. And it's like, dude, you're not this rich. Like, you make good money, but you're not like this. And I was always asking for days off, even in the reserve component. I was putting in the paperwork because I had to go fly around the world with my client and do all these things. Huge red flag, but nobody picked that up other than my first sergeant at that unit. And he was like, this is weird. And then I don't know if it's the S shops, but whoever like files the paperwork, they're like, wow, he's like always gone. And then a few of the people there, maybe like 2 or 3 people at the unit knew who I was. And like, I was doing like all the shit. And they're like, yeah, that's so weird. Why does he like always like gone? He's never here. Cause I want to meet the guy and see the guy. And I hear about like, you know, him only showing up like every other month, not every month. And fast forward, we're doing surveillance training and you don't always work with the same people, but the AIC, so the agent in charge of this like training cycle we're doing, is grading all of us. We're doing our stuff, trying to remain undetected, enlisting people, becoming random things and trying to get information out of them to show we got it and we can run sources in the field for real. Problem, we hit up a target, okay? Like the shopping center target, not like high value target, guys. Okay, this is like in the States, we're not doing anything cool. And some dude's like, oh my God, are you Nico Ortiz? Can I take a photo with you? Oh my God, this is so cool. And it didn't hit me right away, the moment, until I said, yeah, sure, dude. Cause like, I'm very appreciative of that. Yeah. Like I said, that's my community at that point in time, like where I'm really like, you know, I feel like I'm doing something good. And then I turn around and like, there's a bunch of different agents out there and but the AIC, like the actual in charge, he's like, what the was that? And one of the agents says, like, he does like social media stuff. He's like, what the are you guys talking about? He's like, you're a public figure?
Yep.
And then he's like, why are we, he's like, you understand. And like, he laid into me and like, yeah, I get it. Right. Like I was the private at that point getting up.
Yep.
He's like, do you not think about these things? If we're trying to put you on assignments, give you articles, if you guys know what that is, it's for anybody who wants to become a counterintelligence or join the intel community, a lot of great access, a lot of cool things. You can get your B's and C's and actually get granted federal powers. For those of you guys don't know, counterintelligence agents, you work national security investigations and crimes. You are doing cool things. You are arresting people. You are carrying a badge for a disclosed amount of time. And then when that's done, it's swiped away until like, you know, next said thing comes up. He's like, does any of that make sense to you? He's like, you can't be like in a foreign country and we're trying to find a high value target and he's your biggest fan and sees your face and realizes the American is a counterintelligence agent. Oh, you're you're outing us. Like you're the actual threat. And then when he went and told my like command about that, because my CSM didn't give about at the time, my first sergeant, like I said, was the only one that was aware, and some of the S shop people. And then they were like, oh yeah, well, he does like always ask for time off too. And they're like, what do you mean? People recognize this guy in public. Like he can't be doing like cool guy, silent, slick shit. But why is he getting time off? They're like, oh, he works for like Russian billionaires. And if you guys know anything about the intel community, Russia, China, Iran,
not the axis of the axis.
Top 3
the axis, not the allies.
You're watching those countries all the time. And yeah, at that point in time, they're like, listen, dude, there's no way for us to like quite literally fire you. Like we could give you like Article 15s and stuff like that because we're going to now stop giving you times off, like days off. Like the CSM is not going to grant it because they don't have to grant these things, right? I give an explanation. I'm like, my civilian sector job pays amazing money, outstanding money. But that's like my career field and that's my dream job and I don't want to lose it. And like, guys, I'm sorry, but whatever people tell you, like, oh, they can't fire you. You're in the military. Like they'll give you the time off. Bro, get the out of here, bro. I'll find a different excuse and fire your ass. I'm not making money in my business because you're obligated to the military. When you get out, come back and find a job because nobody owes that to you. Like your country, guys, your country owes you nothing. Even if you did serve and you lost everything, it's a choice. I chose to go join the military. I'm very self-aware of this, but yeah, they lay into me and they're like, you can, this can affect your civilian job, whatever way. We don't give a you can start saying us, which was my original plan. You guys, I'm just not going to show up and I'll eat it. But then that's going to lead to, Article 15s. And then if need be, got as bad because this one AIC, it was like when I was a kid, I had flashbacks. I'm like, this dude's gunning for me. I was like, I'll get you can get even after, active duty, getting an honorable discharge and getting your DD-214, you can still get a dishonorable or unhonorable discharge in the reservist component. And then my first sergeant kind of helped me out. He's like, well, have you ever heard of IRR? And I was like, what the f- is that? He's like, it's inactive ready reserve. He's like, this exists for people in weird situations. Like, let's say you're a private who just enlisted in the Army Reserves and you win the lottery for $50 billion. When you have that much money, like a target's kind of your head. So actually, let me just, you win $20 million. The military is really not going to do you any good. And you have a lot more to kind of lose at that point. That sounds terrible to say. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea. So IRR says we are aware, the Army does not want you to be a homeless veteran, guys. That's not the goal. Nobody in the DOD wants you to be a homeless vet across the board in any branch that you're in. And they are trying to assist you with this type of thing for particular situations. They're like, you're making really good money. We understand you may never find a job like that again. Because I was like, I'm the youngest dude in my career field by 10 to 15 years, decades. Quite literally, I'm very fortunate to be in this position. I worked my ass off to get there. And they're like, well, you do IRR. What that means is you don't have to show up anymore. We basically just kind of end your contract. You're gonna just write out your contract. You don't do anything too stupid or dumb that would hurt the military, because then we can you and stuff like that. But you technically don't exist. You never have to show up to drill again. And that's kind of it. And when your contract's over, we'll contact you. You'll have to turn in some gear and stuff like that. But being forced into that position really sucked balls, because now the only sense of real military, right, was just a memory at this point. Mm-hmm. Guys, and for anybody who's dealing with that, you do got to swallow that pill. You got to get over it. You're not a soldier anymore, dude. You don't have to follow the warrior spirit and do things as such. You can conduct yourself like a professional. I think that's going to take you so far. But
hang up that letter jacket's what I always say. It's that is a chapter. Be proud of it. Start the next one.
Move on.
Yep. Hang up your letter jacket. Don't be like, oh, I got to wear this. Look, you owe me. It is a part of your life you should be proud of. Retire it and then move on to the next act. Attack the next part of life with the same mindset.